So for anyone watching this back as a video, this is being live streamed on Twitch. Links are in the description. But this has been sent in by a customer because he has replaced the HDMI port and encoder, and now apparently it don't turn on. I think he was missing his breakfast that day because, yeah, he tried to eat his PS5. Don't try and eat your PS5s, guys. It's not good. Sony don't like it when you try and eat the console. Like, I know they're a bit of shit, and that's pretty much like every fast food restaurant in the world. But you shouldn't try and eat the PS5. It's very expensive as a meal, just for the record. So yeah, let's just have a look. I did hear a fizzle, so we've very likely got, number one, a fly flying around. That's freaking annoying. But we've very likely got a power. I was going to say we have. Right, boot of the bug's slowly creeping in. Say hi, boot of the bug. Ah, nice boot of the bug. Ah, bless you. Anyway, yeah, so this is just beeping every couple of seconds. Usually indicative, when we've got this specific scenario, usually indicative of one of two things. It's normally either that the encoder's not been soldered right, or that we've got a short on the 5-volt line. So, yeah, we'll see. This video probably still would have been here without today's sponsor. But hey, it's time to show something, right? So here goes. Here at the Coder Productions, we love nothing more than to take as much money from you, the viewer, as we possibly can. Which is why we're proud to talk to you about consolefix.shop. A great place for you to spend your hard-earned cash. I mean, yeah, fair enough. You get parts and supplies that help you fix things, but you've got to give me some money in return. Nothing in life's free, and if you pay me for it, you might appreciate it more. Or not. Hey, I'm not judging. With that being said, we do have some pretty cool stuff on the shelves, including power supplies, HDMI ports, charging chips, MOSFETs, and whatever else you can think of that'll give you the illusion that you're getting a good deal. So head on over to the online store by clicking on the link in the video description, and if there's one thing I can guarantee, is that there will be a way for me to take your money. Console Fix, your friendly money grabbing YouTuber. Alright, so we've got a single beep every few seconds. So let's have a look. So we're going to fly around again. Let's just have a look at the HDMI port first. So we're missing the small cap. Ah, there's the small cap. That's not going to be the reason it doesn't turn on. Not the best job soldering, if I'm being honest. I mean, I don't know whether the customers are professional or not, so I'm not going to slag them off. Don't worry, I only slag them off if they're supposed to be a professional. Yeah, not the greatest job soldering, which would kind of explain it not turning on after a encoder replacement. If they haven't soldered the encoder properly, it needs that encoder to work for the console to actually turn on and, well, turn on successfully. It's attempting to turn on. Okay, so the HDMI, so the display's not going to work at all. That port's going to need redoing, and yeah, that's out of line. Not much out of line, but it is slightly out of line. Very slightly out of alignment. Yeah, so that's probably going to be the reason we're not getting any power. Or that's very likely going to be the reason why we're not getting any power, should I say. Cap is off the pads. Yeah, it is, yeah. Oh, actually, yeah, we're missing a load of caps. Oh, wow, this is a bit of a clean-up job. Oof. Yeah, all right. Missing quite a few components here. Oh, dear. Well, all right then. Well, that's one way of getting it off. Look at that. Okay, this is why when you get a new encoder, And whether or not this encoder works, I don't know. This has very likely come from China, but when you get a new encoder, you can't just drop it straight on. But you can't just solder that encoder straight on, it's not going to work. The solder's not going to bond to it. If you look at these pads, they're all gold. That shouldn't be gold. Those pads should not be gold. So no solder is bonding to that at all. You have to tin the pads. So this is why this isn't working. I mean, whether or not the encoder works, I don't know. I'll find that out later on. But you cannot just drop it on, you've got to tin the pads. Otherwise the solder's got nowhere to bite to. It's got nowhere to bond to. Thankfully this isn't oxidised, so it's fairly easy to tin them. If you want to go the extra mile, run over the sides as well, like the edges of the chip. So a lot of these chips that you get from China end up coming oxidised. This one's not. This one's actually okay. It's not actually bonded any solder to the edges. Alright, I need to rebuild this circuit. Those caps are very important. So I'm going to have to rebuild this lot. There you go. Good stuff. Right, let's redo this HDMI port. Okay, on port. Yeah, no worries, Travis. Thanks for stopping by and the support, buddy. I really appreciate it, mate. Tell your mum I said hi as well. Nah, thank you, dude. Appreciate you, mate. Travis knows I love him. I'm going to redo the port because he's got no chance of having a working display on this. Just get rid of that gunk. The phone was still on the HDMI port and I couldn't be asked to take it off. Alright, let me grab donor capacitor. Should have one on here. Yeah. Nice bit of meltage on the port, why not? Right, that'll sit down when I put the port on. Right, not sure if that's bridged or not. I'll have a look in a second. Probably has got a couple of bridges on it. Little bit of melt into the port, but that's quite acceptable. You've got to expect a little bit when you're coming in with the soldering iron. I have a certain tolerance for, you know, a little bit of melted plastic on the back of the port, because it's not going to hurt the port. Like that little bit of singeing, never going to hurt the port. Not happy with the solder joints though at all. Really not happy with the solder joints. I'm going to do that again. They look terrible. Absolutely terrible. You know what, actually, I'm going to do the entire port again. I'm not happy with it at all. I'm going to try and just use the drop method and have it make a contact first time. Don't want to put my name to that. I do have a tolerance for singeing. I think that was a little bit out. I'll be honest. I think it was a little bit out. Now I've got plastic on my freaking soldering iron tip. These atoms are an absolute beast. Absolute beast. I do need to move that cap further back as well. It's a little bit too close. Cool. Right, that looks a bit more to my standard, I'll be honest. You got to take pride in your work. Like, it doesn't matter what you're doing, just take pride in it. I don't care if you're flipping burgers at Burger King, spitting on your onion rings. Take pride in what you do, people. Let me just clean up the flux, and I'll make sure it's soldered. M&M reference. Hey, someone got it. Sitting in the parking lot screaming, "I don't give a fuck," with the windows down and the system up. Yeah, no, seriously, if you're doing anything at all, it don't matter what it is, like, especially when you work for yourself. Like, I mean, if you're getting paid fucking minimum wage and underpaid and undervalued, then fuck it. But actually, no, not when you're doing stuff for other customers. Like, no. But if you're just doing stuff for your boss and you're being underpaid and underappreciated, then fuck it. But if you're doing stuff for customers or you're doing stuff for yourself, Take pride. Take pride in your work. Look at that. Full house. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That's some nice solder joints. Beautiful. I do have a pretty high expectation of myself when it comes to soldering and stuff. I'll show you that in a second with the encoder. You'll see on the joints of the encoder, like they're all going to be nice and shiny and nice and uniform. Really wet joints, no dry joints anywhere. I do have a high standard, and I do hold myself to it. Even if it means spending more time, I do hold myself to that standard. iPad not soldered. That's not even funny anymore. My next large purchase will be the new Hakko soldering iron. The new one, the FX971. Yeah, get soldered, bitch. I'm not sure if it's better. The reason I want it is because you can plug it into the PC and get readouts on the PC. That will massively help my videos, like really. Like, to me, just the improvement in quality of videos for the fact that I can display on the screen what temperature my iron's at. Huge improvement. Definitely worth the money. Worth the investment all day. And plus I will sell one of my Hakkos just to, you know, I don't need 3 irons. I've got 2 Hakkos. So I will sell one of them to offset the cost. That is going to come probably at the end of the month. So I will be auctioning off one of my Hakkos. Because I've got one for the micro pencil, one for the normal iron. Albeit the one I haven't got set up at the minute. But yeah, I will be auctioning off one of my irons at the end of the month. Right, and that is not working at all now. Which means that encoder that customer's bought, and I'm going to have to replace the encoder with one of mine, unfortunately, because that is definitely soldered 100% correctly. That means I've bought a fake encoder, and this is why I don't trust AliExpress. If you need encoders, consolefix.shop, buy them from there. The ones I sell are genuine because they come off PS5 boards. Damn it. I really shouldn't use a nozzle with this while I'm doing encoders. There we go, some beautiful looking joints. I need to redo the liquid metal now as well. So you shouldn't have to replace liquid metal unless it becomes really badly contaminated. If you use a bit of isopropyl alcohol, you can get rid of any oxidation on the liquid metal. And then once the isopropyl alcohol's dried, it'll go back to pretty much brand new. As a general rule, I don't replace liquid metal unless I absolutely have to, because it's expensive. Look at that. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that liquid metal. And these consoles are what? 2 years old? There we go. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. So yeah, turns out that the encoder that the customer bought was a fake. That's just overheated, I think. Come on, show me a white light. There we go. There we go. That's more like it. It does appear So we don't have any display. Oh, yeah we do. Never mind. Ignore me. There we go. Couldn't see where my camera was. Well, yeah, there we go. Yeah, I don't know where my controller is. What's the display saying it's on? 4K. Cool. That's all I need to see. All I need to see is that it shows 4K. I can give it a full test tomorrow. That was a scary face. Yeah, I can give this a full test tomorrow. It's telling me on the TV that it's displaying in 4K. So, I'll take it. I will take it. Right, job done. On to the next one.